On this episode of Ice Vikings.
Here we go.
We gotta go where no man's gone before.
It'll be a little tough to see the trail today, but...
Look at the weather right now, and they say we're in for some changes. Well, I hope this is not the changes.
Oh, the curse net. Oh, my God. Shame.
Should I stop?
Another crack right over there. Look at it.
We're on a crack.
Yay, caramba.
Once we get across the channel, then phew.
I went through! Yeah, my f***ing leg.
You gotta be a little crazy to do this. Why do you want to come out with 40 below? Push it. Woo!
That is very good fishing. It is worth it if you're catching fish.
That's the smell of my baby.
Just another day in paradise, living the dream.
Keep chopping, I gotta get it flat. But watch out on this side, because I went right in. Watch out too close, you go in there too.
In the Narrows, Chris and his crew have nets on the wrong side of a huge crack on the ice. They need to figure out a way to get both bombardiers across.
I don't know about this.
Me neither.
There's ice underneath it. Look at how far the slush goes.
It's -6. Tonight's gonna be -16, and tomorrow's gonna be -36. So you can have a 30-degree temperature change here in a 24-hour period.
Let me try with one bombardier. If it's no good, then someone's gonna have to go down there and cross. Here goes nothing.
Gonna be up in the air now.
One wrong move and the bombardier will sink to the bottom of the lake.
Woohoo! Look at that. Yeah, it's all busted out. That's all broken out, dude.
The weight of the first bomber across causes an even larger crack. Getting the second 2-ton machine across is now next to impossible. Chris has only one solution: speed.
I'd rather break something getting across and put that thing 3 feet in the air than to spend the rest of the winter trying to figure out how to fish a bombardier from the bottom of the ice. Can you just get out of the way? Move your bombardier, Joel. Cross your fingers, put the foot to the floor, close your eyes and go.
We gotta go where no man's gone before.
Here we go.
So I got my dad with me, because he knows the history of the area. So I'm glad I got him with me today.
Chris and his team are hoping to hit the mother lode of whitefish in a remote corner of the lake. Traveling here is risky, but with their catch disappearing closer to shore, they have to take chance.
The channel is where the most amount of water's flowing. We gotta see how much ice there is before we go any further, because we want to have a minimum amount of ice for the machine. Once we get across the channel, then phew, then we're okay.
The way it has been this year, this is the dangerous ice conditions in my lifetime.
Rόμπερτ Christiansen is Chris's secret weapon. His dad has fished the lake for 7 decades. He knows where the fish may be schooling.
You know, listen more and talk less, if that's possible.
Look at the weather right now, and they say we're in for some changes. Well, I hope this is not the changes.
So far, it's been one of the warmest winters anyone can remember, and that's not good. Warm weather means thin and unpredictable ice conditions, making travel even more treacherous.
We're not going to set a bunch of nets. It's more of a test to see if there's anything there. And maybe the ice is all broke up there and we can't do anything. So the only thing to do is to go there and try and find out.
Another crack right over there. Look at it.
We're on a crack.
Wind and the current have heaved the ice, forming an unstable ridge that's blocking their way.
Yay, caramba.
What the thing?
Wow, did we ever get snow here?
Near Hekla,
We were just on this trail like 12 hours ago, you know?
Chris's son Trevor and his crewman Matt have a long way to go in order to reach their nets today.
It's gonna be a little tough to see the trail today, but it's gonna be a whiteout today, that's for sure.
Once again, Trevor's bomber is out of commission.
Mine broke down again yesterday, just been a pain in the ass. But for now, I'm still stuck using Dad's bomber, which runs great, but it's just, you know, more stuff of his that I don't want to break.
Heavy snowfall and frigid temperatures will make today an endurance test.
So it's going to be like -20, -20, -30, probably reach some -40 days. It sucks. I mean, it hasn't made that much ice this year. The snow is just going to keep insulating it, and it makes it way harder to travel, like way heavier going, especially when you're going like 4 or 5 miles. It just slows you right down.
Drive, that's for sure. Hope Matt's doing all right in a side-by-side. You got the pin in there? Okay, let me just grab that quick.
To take the lifting caboose to the gang of nets furthest from shore.
Can trail at all.
I can't see nothing behind you, in front of you, beside you. I don't see anything.
The side-by-side Matt driving can easily pull the lifting caboose, but the heavy wet snow has become an issue.
Oh no.
I went through! Yeah! My leg's wet!
Get back! 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 Back!
Out of nowhere, the side-by-side and caboose hit a slush hole and begins to sink.
This is fully insulated right now.
Yeah.
Matt and the crew scramble to safety.
I tried going.
You're just digging yourself more.
In frigid temperatures, ice contracts, leaving areas where cracks appear and water floods to the surface. Mixing with snow, you get slush holes. Dangerous as quicksand, equipment can get stuck, and if it freezes, it will be impossible to get out.
I'm right down to the sitting on its body.
And Matt's side-by-side can't pull it out.
Okay, well, I gotta unhook this thing.
If Matt can't disconnect the side-by-side, the combined weight of both vehicles could break through the ice.
I'm right through right now.
Trevor's ahead in the bomber and doesn't know. Matt manages to get the side-by-side out of harm's way for the time being. But the caboose isn't going anywhere.
I saw you go a little bit there, and I was like, okay, I'll just try and go around to the right as much as I could.
Okay.
It just sunk me right in, so.
Yeah, we'll pull it back and then rehook it and go way around, because this is...
Well, that thing, I gotta clean all that out
crazy.
now on the tracks. It's full right to... It's gonna be all iced up in no time.
Okay.
The caboose could break through the slush hole and sink, or as the heavy snow accumulates and colder weather arrives, could be frozen in place, trapped for weeks until warmer weather.
Hey, it's hard for me to see with my tinted goggles and stuff, and it all white, and I saw Trevor's tracks, and it's not that clear of a track, and then all of a sudden it's a really, really dark track, and so I saw that, and I said, oh, so I'll try and go to the right a bit, and I thought I was okay until everything sunk right down to the floorboards.
The one thing I don't want to do is get the bombardier stuck too, because then we're f***ed. So what I could do is, I don't think I'm going to be able to pull that out.
Fishing's on hold. The pressure's on to save the caboose.
But I'm praying to God this works. Did you look at this? Quality, it's just knotted together. It's not even knotted.
My gas pedal is freezing on the bombardier too, so I was trying not to run you over as I went forward.
Yeah.
No! What a f***ing mess. Oh yeah.
I'm getting the f*** out of here.
Now Trevor must use the bomb to extract the caboose before it's too late.
Yep, no, that is gonna snap.
Tell him to bring the bar here, we'll check it out.
North on the lake, Trevor's dad Chris is having problems of his own. His team is stopped by a massive crack. Two large sheets of ice have collided, creating a treacherous weak spot.
It's folded one way over the other all the way down, and there isn't really an awful lot of ice. And then you add the current to it, you're probably not having much fun.
Doesn't look good, eh?
The team has no choice. They must find a way to cross the crack to set their nets.
Do we keep looking for cracks, or do we try to get over it?
Well, that's what we came this way, because you can go...
That's a crack right there you went over.
fella to knock it down here.
Chris must decide whether there's enough ice to carry the weight of his men and their machines.
Bring that bar here, Devin. Check there.
Lives are at stake.
Go down, go down.
Down, down,
I
down.
want to see how much. If there's water there or ice.
Huh?
There's ice underneath it.
Because we're pushing together. That's what it's like under it.
So
We gotta push this down here.
There's ice right there. Okay, good. Chop this down, we'll make it smooth.
They decide to knock down the ice ridge and create a snow and ice bridge across the crack.
Put your bar down on
How much water is there?
Special steel rods sharpened on one end are called needle bars. They are the go-to tool for chipping through ice. The 250-kilogram snowmobile makes it safely across.
Guess you could tell it's not his snowmobile.
But the bomber weighs 2 tons. If the ice gives way, it will sink like a stone. "100 kilometers south, Richard Bjarnason is starting his day at Moonlight Bay. It is the first cold snap of the winter. Richard and his son Mike are getting ready for a bitterly cold day on the lake.
Okay, yeah, I'm kind of stubborn, I guess, something like my dad, and I just want to try to get as much as we can when we're out there. I figure, why not? Let's get her done.
Just try to dry these plugs out. Try to put some fuel in.
But they are off to a slow start. Their snowmobile engine is flooded, so their helper Sheldon is trying to burn off the gas that swamped the spark plugs. When the temperature sinks below -30, everything starts breaking down. Making repairs in these bitter temperatures is a misery.
You got a little bit of wind there and it's just an intense cold. You get out and you're not dressed properly, you can just feel it right through your whole body.
Okay, we're all set. Yeah, we'll roll her up.
This isn't what Richard and the boys were hoping for.
It was pretty pathetic. There was only, I think, about 9 fish in that net, and so we just yanked it up, and we'll put it at the end.
They have nets to check farther out on the ice, but there's one nobody wants to touch.
Oh, the curse net. Oh, my God. This guy gave us the net. He was saying, I'm giving it to you because it's cursed.
Richard calls it the hoodoo net.
Hoodoo net, that means a jinx net.
So maybe it is cursed.